Alright everybody, welcome back to another stream. It's time to get the 2026 BeamNG Monster Jam season underway. Now I'm not going to do a super crazy intro right now because I just did a whole 10-minute intro and the stream crashed. I don't know why that's such a common thing now. And I don't know if there's anything I can really do about it. So we're not going to do a super crazy intro right now. We're just going to get things started here because yeah, so the lineup is posted in the description. I guess I'll read off the lineup. That's kind of important. So your lineup here, as we kick off this season, is Tyler, Menninga, and Gravedigger, Ryan Anderson, Son-Uva Digger, Weston Anderson, Bog Hog, Blake Granger, Monster Mutt, Dalmatian, Bryce Kenny, Tech Deck, Rec Deck, Colt Stevens, Thunderroarus, Bari, Musawwir, Zombie, Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher, Tim Hall Jr., Jurassic Attack, Venard, the Black Pearl, Zack, Garner, Wildside, Chris, Koehler, Mayhem, Jim, Koehler, Avenger, John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity, John Gordon, Bad Company, and Mike Paglia, Rulo, and Excalibur. With that being said, we're going to get right into the action here because if the stream does crash again, I don't want to have to reiterate too much stuff. And it seems like stream crashing is not too rare of an occurrence by now. So we're going to get things started right away here with timed racing. And Tim Hall Jr. coming up first as he is making his Stadium Series debut. So a big deal here for Tim Hall Jr. Let's see what he can do. Getting staged and ready to go at the line. Alright fans, here we go. Your first racing pass of the season, and it is not going too well for Tim Hall Jr. He went all the way up that first obstacle and went very wide in that turn. He's going to have to really recover some time here in this final turn. Nicely done by Tim Hall Jr. Unfortunately, just not too much for him to work with. I mean, he did give it his best shot, but I don't know. There's no time to beat. This is setting the bar. The time for Tim Hall Jr. is a 20.13. Again, that's a 20.13. At this point in time, we still don't know if that's a good pass, but that is the pass that we're working with first and foremost. A 20.13 on the clock. Alright, well, from one Stadium Series debut to the next, we have Weston Anderson in the all-new Monster Jam Bog Hog machine. This is a pretty big deal here. Weston Anderson has been driving the Bog Hog for just about his entire motorsports career. Now he has the privilege of running it as a monster truck. That's got to be a good feeling here, as he also makes his Stadium Series debut. Let's see what he can do. Weston Anderson and the Bog Hog. Staged and ready to go at the line. Lights go green. He's off to a much better start than Tim Hall Jr. He might lose a lot of speed right here, though. He went way too wide. That backflip ramp's going to get in his way. So he's going to have to make up a lot of ground here in this last turn. Nicely done by him right there, though. He cut that last turn just about perfectly. That's going to recover him some time. Weston Anderson and the Bog Hog, he is going to put down a 19.70. Again, that's a 19.7 flat tonight. That is going to be enough for the lead, but again, it's too early on into the competition to say too much. So far, the bar is being set just generally around that 20-second mark, but we have already gotten a sub 20 time, so we'll see as this event goes on whether or not that will be a great time. We're going to keep things going here. Coming up next, we're going to take things back to the independent side with one of the longest running drivers in this entire lineup. In fact, I'm pretty confident to say this is the longest running driver in this entire lineup. Coming up next, please welcome Jim Koehler and Avenger. Jim has competed on every single BeamNG Destruction series. This year will be no different. And this tour is going to be the most competitive one yet, I have a feeling. So, Jim, Koehler, and Avenger really getting the opportunity to take a crack at a big thing here. Alongside Chris Koehler as well. Unfortunately, no Joe Foley this year. He will be joining Adam Anderson on the Speedway Series. Jim Koehler now getting staged and ready to go. Didn't like that first lineup. He is going to settle for the same side as Weston Anderson, so we'll see if that can pay off for him here. These drivers really got to work on their start in that berm. They have all taken it really wide so far, and Jim is looking really lost out here. I can't say that the red lane is going to be the way to go. That gray lane looks a lot easier to manage, and Jim Koehler's proving that right now. He is having no success out there in that red lane. He is going to put down by far the slowest time of the night with a 25.50. So Jim Koehler and Avenger taking that last place spot right now. We still have quite a while left to go here in racing. We're 3 of 16 competitors in, so a lot could still happen. But thus far, Jim Koehler not off to the best night ever. We'll see how that goes. Like I was saying, though, I'd advise for just about all of these remaining competitors to maybe not go into that far lane. It seems like it has only been harming these competitors so far. So, we'll have to see. Coming up next, behind the wheel of the all-new Tech Deck Rec Deck, please welcome Bryce Kenny. So again, Bryce and Camden, oh actually I said again, but this was actually in the stream that crashed that I said this. Bryce Kenny and Camden Murphy are both running a new style of chassis this year that no one else is running here on the Destruction series. So that's going to be a little bit of an added difficulty for them. And I'm going to be interested to see how they try to adapt to that. Bryce Kenny in the Tech Deck Rec Deck ready to go. He's going to go off right here. Oh man! Some of the difficulty in that new chassis coming through right away. Now, we did see this style of chassis last season with Armando Castro, and the thing for him is he was struggling a lot with the truck rolling over. We are seeing that same struggle for Bryce Kenny right away. Look at the recovery, though. That just blew me away, despite that very rough start to the racing pass by Bryce Kenny in the Tech Deck Rec Deck. He's going to recover very nicely, and it's actually going to be the new fastest time. So, interesting there for Bryce Kenny. He's going to put down a 19.69. So, I think part of that there is all the other competitors previously have been getting very caught up in that berm. Bryce, although he didn't have a good pass through the berm, rather than taking it really wide, just rolled over and kind of just kept the momentum from there. And I guess that was enough to work out for him because he is going to now get the fastest time thus far. So, a unexpected, fortunate turn of events right there for Bryce Kenny in the Tech Deck Rec Deck. He becomes the racing leader despite a pretty rough rollover. I will say at this point in time, it looks like just about every driver is opting for that gray lane. I don't think we're going to be seeing any more passes in the red lane, at least not for a long while, because it has not been paying off for any of the drivers who have been trying it out. Coming up next, making his Monster Jam return, John Gordon, Bad Company. He took last season off after what was a pretty interesting 2024 season. Now he's back in 2026. We're going to have to see what he can do. He's ready to go here, staged at the line. Ready to go green. John Gordon gets started. Oh man, he just oversteered that first turn. He had the cleanest pass through the berm by far. He just got really ahead of himself, and that's going to really threaten the rest of this pass, though. He's trying to recover it, but he's just oversteering a little bit too much. Fast in the shifting to try to recover, but unfortunately, two major mistakes like that was enough to take John Gordon, the bad company, out of the competition, because he's going to get a time of a 25.57. That is currently the worst time of the event, pretty much bar none. So, actually, I shouldn't say that. Jim Koehler did put down a 25.50, but Jim Koehler was still faster than what we just saw there, so interesting turn of events. Alright, 1 second here, fans. We are preparing for Camden Murphy, the Classroom Crusher. Huh. Interesting news here, fans. Unexpected turn of events. I'm not sure if that Classroom Crusher machine can run right now. Oh, never mind, fans. We are good to go. Had a little bit of an issue right there. It almost looks like Classroom Crusher couldn't make it out. Don't worry, we figured everything out. Camden Murphy and the Classroom Crusher is up next. Now again, Camden is experimenting with the same new chassis style as Bryce Kenny. Bryce had a rough pass with this new chassis, but he ended up with the fastest time. So, a lot of interesting things have been happening here in racing so far. Let's see how Camden Murphy can do in the Classroom Crusher. Camden Murphy gets started. Beautiful start to the pass. Easily the best one of the night. In fact, if he can keep this up, we could be seeing a Camden Murphy racing win. He's going to have to be very tight. Look at that. Incredible work by Camden Murphy and the Classroom Crusher. And an interesting thing there, we saw Bryce Kenny struggle a lot in the berm because of the new chassis. Well, Camden Murphy just did a perfect pass by just about any measurement there. He put down a 17.15, easily the fastest time of the night. The only driver to go under 19 thus far. And almost went under 17. So, excellent work right there by Camden Murphy and the Classroom Crusher. He is your new leader here in racing, on course to become your racing winner. Alright, fans, we're going to keep things going because we got plenty of drivers coming your way still. And up next, it's Chris Koehler and the Mayhem. Now, Chris has had a wild racing record here on the BeamNG circuit. He has won all sorts of racing competitions, including the Last Chance Qualifier, which he won twice in a row in the same show, which is something I never thought I would say, but Chris Koehler defined all expectations by pulling that off. Now, he is back here on the Destruction Series, piloting the Mayhem once again. Let's see if he can get it done. A nice start by Chris Koehler. Unfortunately, a similar mistake to John Gordon. Looks like he just had a little bit too much steering. He could still bring this back, though, if he can get this last turn right. Oh, he aces that last turn. A great pass by Chris Koehler. Not going to be quite as quick as Camden Murphy, but Chris Koehler is going to put down a time of an 18.80, which is only about a second and a half slower than Camden. And Camden was a good 2 or 3 seconds faster than just about every other competitor. So Chris Koehler is definitely defying the other competitors right now. That is one of the best times of the night. In fact, that does put him in second place right now. So, no matter what happens for the rest of this competition, Chris Koehler has guaranteed himself a pretty good amount of points right out the get-go. Very nicely done from the Chris Koehler Team Scream Camp. Let's keep things going here. Coming up next, we're going to move it over to the only Team Tomfoolery driver here on this circuit. In fact, he might be the only one in Destruction Series history. I'm not sure if Nick Pagliarulo ever did a series here or not. Coming up next, it's Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. regardless of 2024, there was no tomfoolery on the circuit in 2025. So Mike Pagliarulo getting a big opportunity here to represent his family and their team. If he can do well here in racing, that would be a great way to start the season. Looks like they're not going to be satisfied with that staging, though. He's going to have to fix that up a little bit. Let's see if he can line this up a little bit more fairly. There we go. So Mike Pagliarulo and the Excalibur getting prepared here for his first racing pass of the year. He is underway. Now, Mike has never been a racer, but he is off to the best start. Oh, man. Well, Mike Pagliarulo just butchered that turn. That is a 5-second penalty for the Excalibur. So, despite that perfect start, it looks like I might have jinxed him. I said he's not much of a racer, and he ends up completely tripping up for the rest of that pass. His time was a 20.68. With that 5-second penalty, though, that is a 25.68. And that is officially going to put Mike Pagliarulo in last place on the series right now. So, I mean, you can't win them all, but ideally you would like to be doing better than last place. Unfortunately, though, you win some, you lose some, and this is just not a winning day for the Team Tomfoolery camp so far. However, I can't be saying that as a whole. There's still plenty of time left. In fact, 2 other competitions left for Mike Pagliarulo to go out there and try and save the night. Because so far, it's not going exactly how we would want it to. Alright, fans, let's move into that next competitor. Again, another driver who's not much of a racer, but certainly can get it done when the time comes. This is Colt Stevens and the Thunderroarus. Colt is truly a mastermind behind the wheel of a truck here in Monster Jam. He has always been great ever since his days back when Doomsday was still around. Now he gets to define another one of Monster Jam's most destructive machines, the Thunderroarus. He's off to a nice start with his pass. Let's see what he can do. Oh, man. Oh, he's going to get way too wide in that turn. Bump into a dumpster. Fortunately, that does not really mean anything here on the BeamNG circuit, but it does mean that his time is going to suffer a little bit because of that. A nice recovery, though. Oh, another nice recovery. Wow. A nice recovery in racing turns into a nice recovery as a save. Colt Stevens right there. His time is a 19.72, which overall is not that bad. 19.72 actually puts Colt Stevens in 4th place? I think that's 4th place. No. 5th place. 5th place is not that bad for how concerning that pass looked. It looked like it was going to be a very bad time, but it's actually going to put him in 5th place right now. There are still quite a few competitors left to go, so he can very quickly get knocked down, but it's not that bad of a start there for Colt Stevens. We'll see how that holds up as this night goes on. Speaking of the night going on, we're going to move into that next competitor. Fans, please welcome to the track Cole Venard and the Black Pearl, the first driver of that overboard team to come out here tonight. Zack Garner is still on the board of drivers left to come out here, but Cole Venard getting to represent his team up first. Looks like he might be heading to that red lane. We have not seen any passes on that red lane in quite a while because it didn't work out for those first few competitors. But I guess Cole's going to try and make it happen right here. Going to have to restage this, though. Alright, looks like he's back, restaged, and ready to go. Let's see what he can do. Cole Venard, the Black Pearl. He gets started there. Not too bad in the burn. Let's see if he can keep it straight, though. He looked a little bit messy right there. Not too slow to the recovery, though. So if he can pull off a good last turn, which it looks like he will, let's see what that's going to be for Cole Venard. It definitely wasn't the fastest time so far. but I think it would be harsh to say it was the worst time, and it is far from the worst time. Venard, a 19.51. That's going to be enough for third place currently here in timed racing. Venard getting it done in the Black Pearl. Man, that's got to be a relief. I know a couple parts in that pass looked pretty stressful and quite frankly looked like it wasn't going to be a good time at all, but it is going to end up being currently third place for Venard, so he has secured himself pretty much a top 8 placement at this point, unless all these drivers coming up do really well, because there are still about, I want to say 6 competitors left, maybe 7, to try and take this racing competition away from Camden Murphy and the Classroom Crusher. Coming up next, Bari, Musawwir, and Zombie. Bari did come very close to being a series champion, so evidently he knows how to wheel these trucks, and that includes in racing to get that many points. So now he's staged at the line, ready to go. Let's go green. Bari Musawwir off to a nice start here, taking it just about as wide as you would want to. Perfect start by Bari Musawwir and Zombie. He's going to keep it going. Bari Musawwir, a picture perfect pass. And I'm going to tell you fans right now, this is a close one. I actually need to take a look at that time to beat. Let's see, the time to beat was Camden Murphy with a 17.15. The time for Bari Musawwir. Zombie is at a 17.60. So close to enough for that top spot. However, that is going to be second place right now. Regardless of the fact that it's not first place, that's still a ton of points for Bari. That's definitely going to be helping him out on the season chase, and he's definitely got to be feeling good about that one. Fans, we're officially down to 5 competitors left here in timed racing. Coming up next, please welcome John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity. He tore up the BeamNG Destruction Series last season at the stadium level. Did a pretty good job, but didn't play super high up in points. He'll probably be looking to change that this year, but he's going to have to lock in pretty hard behind the wheel of the Terminal Velocity machine. Let's see what he can do. Looks like he's not liking that setup. He's going to reposition here. I don't know, maybe the officials weren't liking that setup, but either way, that setup wasn't cutting it. So he's restaged, ready to go, John Zimmer Jr. Went a little high up on that berm. That's going to hurt his time for sure. Very tight in that first turn, though. He actually still has a lot of potential to place at least top 3 in this pass. Oh, that's beautiful. John Zimmer Jr. and the Terminal Velocity. Nice little save right there as he ends out the pass. And it's going to be an 18.31. Not enough for first place. However, that does put him in third place currently. So another time that, although it's not the winning time, is going to put him in a spectacular position going on later in the night. And I'm not too surprised. Honestly, I'd say that John Zimmer Jr. is among the drivers most likely to take home a win this year. The season win. It's going to take a lot of determination, though, and consistency. But, I mean, I'd say racing is John Zimmer Jr.'s weakest competition. I'd say he's only going to get stronger as the night goes on. So, starting off the night that well is definitely setting a bar for John Zimmer Jr. Coming up next, please welcome reigning World Freestyle Champion, Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Now, having a status like that definitely is going to make you both a target, but also it's going to make you have a little bit of added pressure because you're going to feel like you have to live up to that title. So we're going to have to wait and see here if Granger is going to be able to get that done. He's staged. He's ready to go. Let's go racing. Nice through that first berm. Kept it clean. Oh, man. That is the best start to a pass so far. Can he keep it alive? Oh, man. tried to find some speed right there, but unfortunately, too much speed in the turns has been really the #1 thing messing up these drivers outside of those starting berms. Granger trying to get it done, but his time is going to be a 21.83. That's certainly not last place, but it is far from first place, and it's definitely going to be hurt him in the points. So tough Blake, yep, there you go. Tough break for Granger. Monster Mutt Dalmatian. He gave it his all, but unfortunately, he just got a little too much speed in that last turn, and we have seen that mess up so many drivers so far. So we're going to have to see if drivers start adapting to that as we go along here. Only 3 drivers remain here in timed racing. Coming up next, it's Zack, Garner, and Wildside. And man, Zack Garner has become one of the most competitive racers in the sport. He won a World Racing Championship in 2024, and then the next year in 2025 appeared in the Racing World Finals Championship once again. So Zack Garner clearly knows how to drive a monster truck very fast. Can he make that work tonight? It's not looking like it so far. That is super duper wide. That's going to be hurting his time for sure. Maybe he can still salvage a good pass. Looks like he will. Zack Garner, nicely done recovering there. It was not a good start. Unfortunately, I just don't think that chassis that he has there is a huge fan of those super tight turns. It's going to give him a 19.39. Far from last place. A little far from first place, too. That's going to put him just about middle of the pack. So it's definitely something he can recover from, but not somewhere he'd like to be sitting, I would assume. So a little bit of an interesting start to the season there for Zack Garner, but regardless, I think he still has a lot of ways that he can improve just in the rest of this event alone. All right, fans, we only have 2 competitors remaining here in timed racing. Coming up next, driving that truck from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, it's Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger. Tyler has a long history here on the Destruction Series, but the 2025 season did not go well for him at all. He was out for a little while, which had Matt Cody filling in. Matt Cody didn't get him as many points as he would have wanted to get, so overall, Tyler Menninga has a lot to recover from last season, and he's going to be looking to do that all season long this year. Tyler is underway with his first competitive pass of the year. He's going very wide right away. Nice end to that turn, though. It looked like he was going to oversteer, but he actually made it work out for him. It helped him sling into that corner, and it's going to be a spectacular time by Tyler Menninga and the Gravedigger. It is a 18.68. That's great. We have only had about 5 drivers go under 19 seconds. So Tyler is definitely going to be placing in the top 50% of the field, which might not sound like a lot, but if you place in the top half enough times, you can very easily find yourself in the top 3. And if you're even in the top 5 by the end of the season, you've about guaranteed yourself a spot in the World Finals. So Tyler Menninga, he's off to a great start. Fans, only 1 competitor is remaining here in timed racing, celebrating the 15th anniversary of his very own Monster Jam truck. Please welcome Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson, a big deal here on the anniversary tour for Son of a Digger. He has not done anything special for that truck yet, but that very well could change as time goes on. This is just the very start of the season, so nothing is permanent quite yet, as he is staged and ready to go. Ryan Anderson's 2026 season is officially underway, and he is looking great right now. A little bit oversteered there in that first turn, but it's nothing he can't recover from. Oh my goodness, Ryan Anderson, a spectacular racing pass. Well, fans, is it enough? Camden Murphy in the Classroom Crusher, your current leader, had a time of a 17.15. The time for Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, is 17.91. Not enough for that top spot. That will put him in third place, however. Alright, fans, I'm going to take a quick minute here to count up all the points so far in this event. That's going to determine the order that these drivers go in the skills competition. And it's also going to give us an interesting insight into how this season is getting started. Fans, will be right back after this short break. Alright, fans, I told you it would be a very short break there. All the points have been counted up already. So, right now your season leader with 16 points is Camden Murphy in the Classroom Crusher. From there we have Bari Musawwir with 15, Ryan Anderson with 14, John Zimmer Jr. with 13, and Tyler Menninga with 12. Now those are your highest placing competitors who will be driving definitely the hardest to try and defend those placements. But the other drivers who are going to be driving a little bit harder are the ones at the bottom of the series. Right now, that's Mike Pagliarulo, John Gordon, Jim Koehler, Blake Granger, and Tim Hall Jr. Those are your bottom 5 drivers right now. Those drivers are going to have a lot of work to do because if they can't pick things up here, they're going to end up in last place after this event. And if you end up in last place, you have no chance of getting to the World Finals or anything like it. So those drivers have a lot of work to do. Definitely going to be under a lot of pressure. However, there's a lot of drivers who are also going to be trying to continue defending the top of the ladder. With all that being said, we're going to get started with skills right away. Now, there is a new skills format at the stadium level only. That is that drivers will only get to attempt one move. However, they will get to attempt that move twice if the first hit is unsuccessful. Fans, don't forget you will have the opportunity to score throughout the night if you wish. Coming up first is Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. Mike, I'd say, is a pretty well-rounded driver when it comes to the two-wheel skills competition. I'm not sure if this track is quite his style, though. So we'll see what he can do. He's definitely always good on those front 2 BKT tires, and he does get a second chance if it doesn't work out for him. So a lot for Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur to fall back on here. It looks like he might have decided on an obstacle. Not going to go for that attempt yet. Looks like he wants to feel out that landing here, which is an important thing for drivers to do. If you can feel out the obstacle you're working with, you're going to have a little bit more confidence of when to do different parts of the move. So Mike Pagliarulo here setting the bar as he gets the first skills pass of the year. And he also looks to get out of last place on the series standings right now. So nice work by Mike Pagliarulo here, setting the bar with a very, very nice moonwalk so far. Let's see what else he can add into this maneuver. Now he's going to walk it back. You'll love to see that. Taking a nose wheelie, turning it into a moonwalk. That hood is going to obstruct his view a little bit. However, I will say, when you're behind the wheel of a Monster Jam truck, doing moonwalks is more about how it feels than what you can see. So Mike, there we go. A nice combination as well. Mike Pagliarulo, Excalibur. A beautiful way to start out two-wheel skills. That first hit, sorry, the only hit, I keep forgetting, you only get one attempt now. It was spectacular. He had some of everything in that run. He had the balance. He also had the wow factor. That wheelie came out of nowhere, and that wheelie also gave him a combination. So Mike Pagliarulo, he had everything right there. Not seeing any fan scores coming in, so this is going to be an expert score. And the experts are going to score that first run of the night. An 8.803, Mike Pagliarulo getting things started in the Excalibur. Coming up next, please welcome John Gordon, Bad Company. John Gordon had a rough night here in racing. Now he's got the opportunity to make some points back up, but he will only get one attempt. And I think that's going to be a difficulty for a lot of those drivers like John Gordon who don't really have a staple move and skills. And I think John Gordon always kind of needed that second hit to make sure he had something happen. But now he's going to have a little bit more struggle here in this competition. And I think we're going to be seeing that throughout the season affect him in the points. Let's see what he can do here. Getting that truck onto those side two BKT tires. Trying to get something more out of that move. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for John Gordon. And that will not count as an unsuccessful attempt because he did get it fully onto the bicycle and walk it. Even though it was not as long as I'm sure he wanted it to be. The fact that it was still a successful setup means he will not get another go. So a very tough break there for John Gordon, Bad Company. You never want to start off your season on a low note, but that was just about the lowest note he could kick things off on. Not seeing any fan scores. This is going to go to the experts. And that score for John Gordon, Bad Company, is a 4.104. Not going to be enough for that top spot. Alright, fans, coming up next, please welcome Jim Koehler, Avenger. My apologies, fans. I did just see a fan score come in. There is a stream delay, so I don't see those scores until probably 10 seconds after they are submitted. Or rather, you fans don't get to score until about 10 seconds after the move ends. So please do make sure to get those scores submitted as soon as possible, or else I will miss them. But going forward, I will wait a little bit longer to see those scores come through. Jim Koehler and Avenger. Let's see what he can do. On the side two tires, he is spinning the Avenger machine. Very nicely done by Jim Koehler and Avenger. 4, maybe even 5 full revolutions on the sidewalls. Fans, get those scores in for Jim Koehler. An incredible run here in skills. I mean, Jim has been improving at his skills game for quite a while over the past couple seasons, but that was amazing. I mean, that was Ryan Anderson, you know, Tyler Menninga level sidewalls right there. Alright, fan scores come in at an 8.2. Expert scores for that run are going to come in at an 8.5. So the score for Jim Koehler and Avenger, an 8.35. That's going to be enough for second place tonight here in the skills competition. Alright, fans, coming up next, Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Now, this is one you guys are going to have to look out for. Blake Granger has a great reputation when it comes to this competition. And I don't see why that would be any different here on his Stadium Series debut. All sorts of different obstacles to work with. It looks like he's going to opt for that center BMX ramp. Let's see what he can do. He will get 2 attempts, but only if this first hit is not successful. Looks like he's trying to feel out that ramp right now. That's a bit of a newer technique. I want to say that originated at World Finals 23, where you kind of feel out the obstacle before you hit it. So Blake Granger getting ready to go here in the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And he's just going to get started right there. Beautiful balancing act by the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Now we already saw a great nose wheelie and moonwalk by Michael Pagliarulo, so now Blake is going to have to find out how to add his own flair. Very nice. He's going to give it a combination onto those rear two wheels, trying to combo it once again. And it looks like he's going to set it down right there, fans. Let's hear it for Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. That was spectacular. We have not seen a combination that crazy so far. Mike did have a combination move, but it was not a calculated one like that. It was more of a nose pick. So Blake Granger giving us something we have not seen so far tonight. Make sure to get those scores in for the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. So a great move, two great moves back to back from Blake Granger and Jim Koehler. So fan scores for Blake Granger come in at a 7.9. Expert scores are going to be an 8.4. So that score for Monster Mutt Dalmatian, an 8.15. That's going to be enough for third place so far tonight. Alright fans, we're going to take it from one great skills driver to another. This one making his Stadium Series debut. It's Tim Hall Jr., Jurassic Attack. Now, Tim's personality very quickly made him a fan favorite on the circuit. And he also very quickly started pulling out some crazy stops. So it's not surprising to see him on the Stadium Series this year. That is from winning the Fall Brawl Series conclusion event on Veterans Day last year. He's not going to waste a second here to get started here in skills. Take a look at the precision from the Jurassic Attack. He's going to walk it up the obstacle. Perfectly done. Combination maneuver for Tim Hall Jr. Look at that. He's actually waving with those front two BKTs. It might send him over unless he can pull out the save. Nicely done. Tim Hall Jr., Jurassic Attack. He's going to pull out the very first save of the 2026 season. And it was a spectacular one. That body is destroyed. But I think the only thing here on Tim Hall Jr.'s mind is that he just put down the run of the night so far here in the skills competition. Man, those moves, they're pretty crazy, but here on the BeamNG circuit, man, we see so many of those throughout the year. Great move right there by Tim Hall Jr. Experts are going to give that an 8.75. Fans are going to give it an 8.1. The score for the Jurassic Attack, a 4.25. That's going to 8.425. That's going to be enough for second place right now, behind Mike Pagliarulo and the Excalibur. So an alright score for Tim Hall Jr. Pretty good score. However, it's not going to be enough for the lead. A little bit of a surprise, because I wouldn't say Mike Pagliarulo had quite as much flair, but regardless, still a pretty good spot for Tim Hall Jr. as Colt Stevens and Thunderroarus is coming up next. Now, this has never really been a star competition for Colt Stevens, so I'm not sure exactly what he'll go for here. He's going to have to get creative, though, if he wants to get a good amount of points. And because he was only able to grab 6 points in racing, he's really going to need to do something that will get him a good amount of points here. Let's see. He's going to get started here, popping it up onto those front two BKTs. He will only get one attempt here, because that was successful. Oh, I don't know if that was intentional, but he just pulled off one of those nice slap moonwalks. It looked like he meant to go in reverse, put it in forward and kind of tried to salvage it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the best pass of the night right there for Colt Stevens. We have seen much more impressive things than that so far. However, it's not going to be the worst thing we have seen either. So we'll see how he places with that run. Score to beat belongs to Mike Pagliarulo with an 8.803. Again, an 8.803 is that score to beat. As you fans get those scores locked in for the Thunderroarus. Experts are going to give Thunderroarus a 7.5. Fans are going to give it an 8.2. That score for Colt Stevens is a 7.85. That's going to be enough for 5th place currently here in the skills competition. Colt Stevens, Thunderroarus. Fans, coming up next, also making his Stadium Series debut, please welcome Weston Anderson, Bog Hog. Anyone who's been a fan of Weston Anderson knows how big of a deal this Monster Jam truck is. Weston gotta be excited to get to campaign his very own identity. It's gotta come with some added pressure as well, though. Now he is not representing a truck that has been around for a while. He has to try to build a legacy himself, which it is. You could say that's less scary because there's less to live up to, but when you want to make yourself known and make your identity known, you gotta drive at a good level. So Weston Anderson of the Bog Hog, he's going to try and do that right here as he gets his first skills run of the year underway. He's going to be the first driver to try for a side of an obstacle popper like that, something very common in the arena circuit, as he's now going to take it to the stadium level in the Bog Hog. Very nicely done. He is walking it all the way across that big pod. He might walk it down the pod now. Very nice by Weston Anderson. Oh, he's going to try to save this. What on earth was... Oh, he's going to keep it alive. This is what Weston Anderson and Bog Hog does best. That was spectacular. He did a moonwalk, nose-picked it as it was about to go over. Somehow got a wheelie out of nowhere, and then he got it into a little bit of a butt kicker as well before setting it down. Weston Anderson and the Bog Hog showing why he has made it onto a very well-deserved first Stadium Series in that Bog Hog machine. Get those scores locked in for Weston Anderson. Score to beat still belonging to Excalibur. Alright, fans, let's see. Experts are going to give that run a 9.1. You fans gave that an 8.6. So the score for Weston Anderson is an 8.85. We have a new leader here in skills, Weston Anderson and the Bog Hog. Very nicely done by Weston Anderson. He is your new leader. Alright, fans, let's keep things going with the driver who had the first rollover of the 2026 Destruction Series. It's Bryce Kenny and the Tech Deck Rec Deck. Bryce Kenny rolled this thing over in racing, but that relatively simple body was able to hold up, fortunately. Now, Bryce has always been good, but not super spectacular in this competition. So I'm not sure exactly what he's going to try and do here to set himself apart. Looks like he's actually eyeing that backflip ramp. He's eyeing that gray side, it looks like. Let's see what he can do. He is very well known for these attempts. Trying to slap walk it. Nice recovery by Bryce Kenny. Oh, he might go over here. Oh, and he is back on all fours, fans. Let's hear it for Bryce Kenny, the Tech Deck Rec Deck. So far, Bryce Kenny has rolled it in every single competition he has done this season. That's a record right there. Bryce Kenny can't catch a break tonight He's going to roll it over there in skills. It's a pretty cool move at the end of the run. But unfortunately, it was not technically a successful attempt because it ended up on the lid. Or, sorry, was on the lid for some period of time there. Let's see, fans are going to give Bryce a 7.8. Experts are only going to give it a 6. So that score for Bryce Kenny in the Tech Deck Rec Deck is a 6.9. That's not going to be enough for the top spot. That's going to conclude the first half of the skills challenge. Now we have halfway to go. We have seen scores all over the board, but so far, Weston Anderson and the Bog Hog has defined this competition. Coming up next, Venard in the Black Pearl is going to take his crack at it. This has never been Venard's competition, but surprisingly, in the Fall Brawl series that took place late last year, Venard was able to take home a couple wins in the skills and best trick competition. So, interesting there. Venard clearly can get it done, but he just usually struggles to do that a little bit. Looks like he's feeling out that obstacle right here. It is successful for Venard in the Black Pearl. Walking it on the wheelie. Oh man, can he get this back? Trying to wheelie out of it as well, fans. Let's hear it for Venard and the Black Pearl. I mean, I'm not sure what exactly happened there. It was very cool. He did a wheelie, started to tip over. That put him onto the sidewalls. Caught the sidewall at just the right time to get a wheelie out of it. Almost like a power wheelie. Very nicely done by Venard. Not sure if that's going to be enough for the lead or not, but it was a very cool move, fans. Get those scores in for the Black Pearl. Keep in mind that score to beat belongs to Weston Anderson with an 8.85. Fans are going to give that run a 6.9. Experts are going to give it a 7.75. So Venard a 7.325. Not going to be enough for the top spot tonight. That's going to put him towards the lower end of the pack, but unfortunately, he really just couldn't get it done as much as he probably would have liked to there. Zack Garner on the wild side is now next. And man, Zack can do a lot of things in this competition. He has a lot of options to work with in his skill set. So far, it looks like those combination maneuvers, though, have been the ones paying off. So I'm going to expect to see something like that from Zack Garner if he can pull it off tonight. Onto those front two BKT tires. A nice start here for Zack Garner. Now, how can he take this move to the next level? Gonna combo it up. Oh, man. Let's hear it for Zack Garner and the wild side. It was all around a pretty successful attempt, but he did set it down a little bit earlier than some other competitors, so keep in mind there was less lengthiness to it. However, there was still a lot of skill put into that. It was still a very nice combination. He just started to go over a little bit and decided it was time to set it down. Score to beat Weston Anderson and the Bog Hog with an 8.85. Let's take a look at those scores for Zack Garner and Wildside. Experts are going to give Zack a 7.5. Fans are going to give Zack a 7.7. So Zack Garner and Wildside going to get a 7.6. That's a pretty low score, but the thing is, at the level of competition here on the Destruction series, you have to be fully on your A game. Zack Garner just wasn't quite there with that run. He will still have freestyle to try and make up some points. Alright, fans, we're starting to near the end of this competition. Coming up next is Koehler and the Mayhem. Now, Koehler put down a pretty good score earlier tonight with some killer sidewalls. Let's see what Koehler and the Mayhem will choose to attempt here. Now, Koehler, he is another driver like Zack Garner that really has a lot of options here. He has mastered a lot of different moves. When it comes to the skills challenge, it looks like he's going to eye the same move as Bryce Kenny, or a similar move at least. So it didn't work out for Bryce Kenny, so I'll be interested to see if if Chris Koehler can have some different luck here in the Mayhem machine. Because he's definitely looking to. Alright, looks like he's about staged and ready here. He's going to have to just go for this. There we go. Beautiful start for Zack Garner. So, whoa, I just called Chris Koehler Zack Garner twice. That is definitely a compliment, but still. I don't know what's going on with the commentary today. Chris Koehler in the Mayhem, he is looking very nice, I will say. He has got this balancing act figured out pretty perfectly here. Chris Koehler in the Mayhem, look at this. Oh, let's hear it for Chris Koehler in the Mayhem. It sounds like he tried to combo that. Tried to combo that into one of those slap walk maneuvers, kind of like what we saw from Colt Stevens, but unfortunately there, it looks like he just couldn't get the amount of bounce he needed to pop that truck back up, and it just kind of went into reverse. So, good attempt by Chris Koehler, but is it enough to beat the 8.85 from Weston Anderson and the Bog Hog? Well, that's what we're going to wait and see here. Experts are going to give that run by Chris Koehler a 7.25. Fans are going to give it a 7.4. So that score for the Mayhem, a 7.325. It's not going to be enough for the top spot. In fact, a 7.325 is the exact same score that Venard got earlier. I don't know how that happened. That will just mean that Chris Koehler will get one less point than Venard because his attempt came after. Alright, fans, let's keep things going here with another one of the most prestigious drivers in the skills competition. It's Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger, the black and green wrecking machine. Now, Tyler Menninga is one of the most consistent drivers in this competition. However, it doesn't mean he's always successful. So we're going to have to wait and see what he goes for here tonight. Lots of options on this track, but I think he's eyeing a bicycle here. Alright, fans, let's see what he can do. Again, Tyler Menninga and the Gravedigger currently on the track looking to get things done. It looks like they're adjusting something here. Looks like he's now ready to go. On those side walls, trying to get something out of it, but he just couldn't quite do it. Let's hear it for Tyler Menninga and the Gravedigger. A very nice bicycle. We definitely saw balance and control. I will say we didn't really see a lot of creativity. The move was kind of just a one and done. Nothing too exciting came out of it for Tyler Menninga. So get those scores locked in. Experts are going to give that run a 6.75 as we await those fan scores. Alright, fans are going to give that run a 7.6. So the score for Tyler, a 7.175. Alright, fans, we only have 4 competitors remaining. Then I have to count up the scores and get a little hydration going. Coming up next, though, it is the Combo King. Please welcome John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity. And man, you know, it's got to take a different level of talent to actually have your own nickname in a competition. So John Zimmer Jr. evidently knows what he's doing here. As he does, I mean, people know him as the Combo King in skills, and that's impressive. Not very many drivers can say that they are known by a nickname. I mean, it's about it's Combo King for John Zimmer Jr. and Freestyle Foley for Joe Foley. That's about it, really. So, let's see what John Zimmer Jr. can do here. Nice. Looks like he wasn't going to get it at first, but he made sure to stay cool, calm, and collected all the way through that beginning there. And it's now going to give him a very nice start to this run. And man, I mean, John Zimmer Jr., he has become such a machine in this competition. They don't call him the Combo King for nothing. He will always pull out a great combination pretty much 100% of the time. And he is proving me correct right now, as he just pulled off a moonwalk into another moonwalk there. Tried to get a wheelie, couldn't quite get it, but still two nice moonwalks. Now he's going to get that wheelie. The Combo King at work right now, John Zimmer Jr. Terminal velocity. Now he is walking this wheelie all the way across the floor. Let's hear it for John Zimmer Jr. Terminal velocity. Great move all the way through. He kept that truck balanced all the way along the ride and giving it that killer wheelie at the end. So it wasn't as much as what Weston did, but you gotta say there was more skill in the sense that it was more controlled. So now you're taking a look at a little bit more of a perspective here where it's, are you looking more for the wow factor attempt or more from the balancing attempt? So an interesting bit of perspective there. Let's see, experts are going to give John Zimmer Jr. a 9. Fans are going to give him an 8.4. So that score for terminal velocity is an 8.7. 8.7 flat. That's going to put him in 3rd place right now. Great place to be. Maybe not exactly where he'd like to be, but I mean, you can never complain about being on the podium. Coming up next, Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger. Man, I feel like my throat's bleeding. I'm really going to need to get some hydration right when this competition ends. But don't worry. I mean, there's going to be probably about a 3-minute break between skills and freestyle. It's not going to be a long break at all. The action does not stop here. Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, one of the, pretty much the pioneer of this competition. He was the first driver to ever do a nose wheelie, or I guess I should say moonwalk. So, Ryan Anderson, he is the driver to talk to when it comes to the skills challenge. I mean, he has this thing figured out. Him and Tom Mentz are pretty much unmatched when it comes to being pioneers in this competition. Ryan Anderson, he's going to pull off his slap moonwalk maneuver, combos it up into a wheelie. Like I was just saying, Ryan Anderson, he knows what he's doing. That was cool, and you know what? It's something we haven't seen yet. He comboed a slap moonwalk into a wheelie. That is something that we have just about never seen before. It's been done maybe once or twice in the past, if even. So Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, he's given us something new to work with, and that's something that I think is definitely going to be helping his score tonight, fans. Make sure to get that score in for Ryan Anderson. Score to beat still belonging to Weston Anderson with an 8.85. Experts are going to give Ryan Anderson an 8.75. Fans are going to give him an 8.5. So that score for Ryan Anderson and the Son of a Digger is... it's an 8.625. That's not going to be enough for the top spot. That does still put Ryan up there with the top 5. So Ryan is still sitting pretty high up in points tonight. In fact, he could very well be leaving this competition as a series leader, depending on how these next 2 competitors do. Fans, coming up next, please welcome Bari, Musawwir, and Zombie. Now, I'm going to be very interested to see how this run goes, because Bari is not a skills competitor. He has never been a skills competitor, and quite frankly, I don't know what he could attempt here. This track just isn't quite suited for his driving style. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to come out of this run by Bari Musawwir. Looks like he's got something in mind here. Trying to do a move on 2 wheels, it looks like. Not going to be a donut today, which is kind of Bari's go-to. It's either wheelies or donuts. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be a wheelie for the zombie. Yes, it is. Great wheelie. Look at that. Skies it right there. Can he even combo this? That's very nice for Bari. Look at that. He's using the arms to help him balance that zombie machine. Now he's just going to moonwalk this thing back. Very nicely done. Bari Musawwir and the zombie. So that's something that you won't see super often in skills aside from bicycles, is even though this is a competition about balance and precision, he chose to go a little bit more ragged edge with it, but it actually worked out pretty well for him. Let's take a look at those scores. Score to beat Weston Anderson, an 8.85 for the Bog Hog. Alright, experts are going to give Bari a 7.75. Fans give him an 8. So that score for Zombie, a 7.875. Again, a 7.875. Not enough for that top spot. Well, fans, it's been a great night so far, but there's only one driver left to go here in skills. Coming up last, your racing winner, Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher. Now, Camden's under some pressure. He has the opportunity to become a seasoned leader right now. He already is coming into this competition, but if he can win another competition or place high enough to hold the lead, he will be in a great position going into freestyle. So let's see what he can do here. Finding that balancing point. Keep in mind, Camden Murphy and Bryce Kenny, both in new chassis this year on the BeamNG circuit. Camden Murphy going to pull out an incredible save. Nicely done by the Classroom Crusher. However, was it as great as what we have seen earlier tonight? I don't know. It was cool, but it was a little bit short-lived. Experts are going to give Camden Murphy an 8.25. Fans are going to give him an 8.4. That score for Classroom Crusher, only an 8.325. That's not going to be enough for the top spot. Alright, fans, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a quick intermission here. I'm going to count up all these points and look at the placements. I'm going to get some hydration, and then we're going to head straight into freestyle. Fans, I hope that sounds great, because that's what we're going to be rolling with here. So we'll be back after this short break. Alright, fans, thank you for sticking around for that short break. Whew, I was just running up and down the stairs. Very interesting points, implications right now. Heading into freestyle. A lot of interesting things kind of changed for these competitors there in skills. So some drivers we saw towards the top, we are seeing dropping towards the middle. Some drivers who are at the bottom, we see racing up towards the top. And some drivers are kind of relatively in the same places. So, yeah, we do have a new series leader heading into freestyle. By the way, the order for freestyle will be based on current overall point standing. So whoever has the most points heading into freestyle will be going last, and vice versa. So right now we have a tie for the lead in the overall series points, and a lot of interesting things. So we're going to run all the way through points here. The tie for the lead is between Ryan Anderson and John Zimmer Jr., who both have 27 points, which is out of a possible 32, by the way, which is an incredible amount of performance consistency. So Ryan Anderson and John Zimmer Jr. are tied for the lead with 27 points. Then in third place is Camden Murphy with 26 points. That's only 1 point out, so he is still very much in the race. From there, we have a tie for fourth place between Bari Musawwir and Weston Anderson. They both have 23 points. Moving into sixth place, sixth place is actually going to be Tim Hall Jr., who has 17 points. From there, there's a lot of ties and stuff like that. Multiple drivers with 16, multiple with 15, I think multiple with 13. So there's a lot of ties. So I'm not going to go all the way through the lineup. There's a lot to talk about. However, the major conversation heading into freestyle is that John Gordon in Bad Company currently has 3 points out of a possible 32. That is startling performance. At this point, John Gordon has basically guaranteed leaving this event in last place in points. So, man, John Gordon's going to be opening freestyle with a fire, I'm sure. Lots of crazy things coming out here for freestyle. Ryan Anderson, in his anniversary year, is leading points and going to be closing freestyle. There is so much crazy stuff happening leading into this final competition. And you know what? I'm excited to get things started, so that's what we're going to do, fans. I hope you all grab some popcorn during that intermission, because we don't have a second to waste. And I hope you all are ready to do some scoring, because we're going to have some scoring to do. Getting things started, John Gordon, Bad Company. This is John Gordon's first Monster Jam Stadium freestyle in over a year. So he's going to have some pressure here. And he's getting started, fans. You can see in that bottom right the timer that these competitors will be running against. So if you need something to keep track of here in freestyle, take a look at the bottom right of the screen. John Gordon getting us started off nice with some good air so far. The flow is there despite this being a new track for most of these drivers. John Gordon being one of them. He is figuring this out very quickly. I'm loving this air so far. He is only 30 seconds in and he already has a lot of good momentum in this freestyle run. I'd like to see him start hitting some different obstacles. He has been caught up in a lot of the same moves so far. It looks like he's going to get into some cross-threading. Here we go. More great air, man. John Gordon has full sent this truck on every hit in this run so far. I am loving that. That's the energy we're going to need to see from him throughout this season as he looks to climb back up the points ladder. Let's see if he can keep this going. There we go. Biggest air of the night so far from John Gordon and Bad Company. He is having a killer freestyle run right now. More huge air for that Bad Company machine. He's got about 30 seconds left. He might be eyeing that Morgan and Morgan backflip ramp. Yes, he is. Oh, can he save this? Nicely done by John Gordon and the Bad Company. That is exactly what he needed That's a huge wow moment. That's going to pick him up some nice points. More great air. Oh man, he's on a little bit of a bicycle now. This is a killer performance. You might have time for one more move. Huge full send by the Bad Company. And he is done, fans. Let's hear it for John Gordon and the Bad Company. He ran the full 2 minutes, and he had momentum, wow factor, air, and a bit of skills moves to show. That was incredible. And like I was saying coming into this competition, I mean, he was bound to be driving at a higher level because he has to get out of last place. But that was, I mean, that was incredible. We haven't seen a driver go that crazy for a full 2 minutes in a while. So fans, get scores in for that first freestyle run of the night. What a great way to start out the show. Experts are going to give John Gordon an 8.75. Fans are going to give him an 8.3. So John Gordon kicks off freestyle with an 8.525. Very nicely done by John Gordon and the Bad Company. Alright fans, let's keep things going. The first ever seasonal Tech Deck Rec Deck freestyle with Bryce Kenny. So this is the first time Tech Deck Rec Deck is doing a freestyle in a full competitive season. This is going to be one to watch. Bryce Kenny has rolled over in every competition of his year so far. Let's see if he can keep that going here in freestyle. It would be a great wow moment, I'll say that much. And he's off to a great start here. 2 big sends kicking off this freestyle. Now, representing a new identity is always scary, and right now it's Monster Jam's star sponsor, Spin Master. So, man, Bryce Kenny, it's got to be stressful, but after representing the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior for so many years, I'm sure it's nothing he can't handle here. Getting this turned around now. Bryce Kenny, Tech Deck Rec Deck, full sending it. That's what you'll love to see. A little bit of a nose pick there coming into that landing, so that center pod does have a lot of little ruts and lips on it to get some crazy moments out of. I'm sure Bryce Kenny will find himself with some of those if he keeps this momentum up. Looks like he got a little bit lost there. You want to try to keep the flow up, but he's going to very quickly recover his pace in this run. Looks like he couldn't quite decide what to do there. Full sending it though in the rec deck. Can he get this back? This might be another rollover for Bryce Kenny. Yes, it is, man. What a start to the season for the Tech Deck Rec Deck. Bryce Kenny has rolled over that truck in every single competition of the year so far. Man, props to him for trying to save that, but that was just not coming back. 40 seconds left unfilled as the Tech Deck Rec Deck goes up and it goes over. So fans, do make sure to get those scores in for that chaotic freestyle that we just saw from Bryce Kenny, Tech Deck Rec Deck. Keep in mind, we've only seen one other freestyle so far, and it was pretty complete and insane. So there's that to work with. Alright, let's take a look at those scores. Experts gave Bryce a 7. Fans gave him a 7.5. So Bryce Kenny and the Tech Deck Rec Deck gets a 7.25 tonight in freestyle. Tough break for Bryce, but he's just got to stop rolling that truck over. He just can't figure it out. Alright fans, coming up next, please welcome Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Although Blake did pretty decent in skills, his very bad score in racing was enough to still drag him down here in the points and have him coming out here pretty early in freestyle. Regardless, I think he'll bounce back pretty quickly. He is a world freestyle champion after all, and he is getting started with some good air. Something that Blake Granger is no stranger to is good air and good flow. So I'm looking to see both of those here tonight. We have seen those from our other competitors as well. Looks So far, I'm loving the air game, and he's not looking lost going from hit to hit. He looks like he knows where he's going. I'm liking this start to the run. Man, that corner right there would have been great in racing, but he couldn't figure out his pass for the life of him. Freestyle is definitely more of his game, though, so he's off to a good start here in the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And there's some of that skills, technicality that he is so good at. That truck is just balancing on that nose so perfectly. Look at that, he's turning the rear steer as well. Gonna combo it up. This is incredible. Blake, Granger, and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Look at that. He's going to force a slap wheelie out of it too. So it's always nice to have a lot of different aspects to your freestyle run. We haven't really seen any skills yet here in freestyle. So Blake Granger giving us something new. It's Morgan and Morgan backflip time. First container backflip of the year, and he's going to land it. Runs out of room to work with there, but he's going to very quickly bounce back. Some more big air. Now, how is he going to set himself apart from what we have seen? Oh, man, that is a great way to do it. Biggest send of the night from Blake Granger. This might be it, though. Yeah, he's not going to be able to save that. That truck is full ways over. There's not a single tire touching the ground. Let's hear it for Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, leaving 16 seconds on the clock. Man, it was a great freestyle from the flow and the pacing to the wow moment there at the end, but he's not going to fill as much time as John Gordon, and he also didn't have a crazy save like John Gordon. Two things to keep in mind there when trying to distinguish those scores. All that being said, though, I mean, I think we could all agree that was a pretty cool freestyle by Blake Granger. All right, let's see. Fan scores come in at an 8.2. Experts are going to give that run an 8 flat. So that is an 8.1 for Blake Granger. That's going to be enough for second place. Remember, that score to beat is John Gordon, 8.525. Fans, coming up next, please welcome another freestyle world champion, Colt Stevens, Thunderroarus. Man, it's not surprising to see so many world champions on a tour like this, but it is crazy how many there are. When you see them all going back to back like this, Colt Stevens, great air, kicks off the run. The thing I love with Colt Stevens that not very many other drivers will do is he makes every single one of his runs look like he's a freestyle world champion. You know, some other world champions like Tristan England don't drive like they're a world champion. Well, Colt Stevens comes out to every show looking like a pro. And this is what I mean. I mean, this air has been spectacular on every hit. I mean, the first hit of the run was the biggest send of the night. That just goes to show how all-out Colt's driving style is. Case is that ramp right there, but truck holds up. Might be eyeing that center obstacle. That is a great way to get some good air. Now, the thing with this track is I think with a lineup as big as this one, it's going to be hard to find ways to set yourself apart. And I think as we go through this competition, that's what I'm mainly going to be looking for here is what's making each run unique. Because this is a relatively flat track. There's only so many opportunities for different types of sends. Looks like we might be getting another backflip, and it's going to be another 8-pack. This one might not be as fortunate. Oh, man. A rough crash there for Colt Stevens. He is going to be done early tonight in the Thunderroarus. He's also going to leave 40 seconds on the clock, so man, I'll tell you what, it's not very common on the BeamNG circuit that we see this many drivers struggle this drastically in freestyle, but some shows just aren't the driver's lucky day, and it's really looking like this is one of those days. Alright, well, we're going to prepare for that next freestyle run as we get those scores locked in. Fans, make sure to get those scores in for Colt Stevens. Score to beat, still belonging to John Gordon with an 8.525. Fans give Colt a 7.9. Experts give him a 7.5. So the Thunderroarus going home with a 7.7. Not enough for that top spot. Alright, fans, let's keep the action going here with another freestyle world champion. We just had 3 freestyle world champions back to back to back. This one, though, has the most prestigious career out of just about this entire lineup, minus maybe Ryan Anderson. This is Jim Koehler and the Avenger. Jim Koehler has for just about his entire career been a fan favorite on the track, and so far tonight, it has been no surprise why. He pulled off a killer sidewall in the skills competition. Now he has the opportunity to throw down a killer freestyle as well. Jim Koehler will always, no matter what state his truck is in, no matter how he's doing in points, he will always give the fans a memorable wow factor. I don't think there's ever been a time that Jim Koehler went to a show and didn't do that, and we are already seeing some of that right here, as he's getting some great air and even a little bit of a combination maneuver right there. So Jim Koehler off to a nice start. He might be the first driver to hit that ramp right there, so I'm liking this uniqueness in the run so far. Nice little bit of combination there, showing off some flow. So I'm liking what we're seeing from Jim Koehler. He's going to have to keep this up. Half the clock has been filled for the Avenger. Let's see what else he can fit in here. Giving us some more great air. I'm just not sure how he's going to set himself apart yet. Morgan backflip. Man, these backflip ramps are looking dangerous tonight. Every driver on both the 8-pack and that container are getting some really awkward bounces. Jim Koehler is now getting a little bit ragged edge as well, so this is great. I'm loving what we're seeing here. Oh man, this might be it. Whoa, great save for Jim Koehler and the Avenger. He is now really putting this run into high gear. He's going to cross-thread it. Oh my goodness. I don't know if that was a backflip, a corkscrew. Jim Koehler just pulled out one of the craziest wow moments of the season so far. He is going to pull out a great save as well. He is showing you fans why Avenger is a 2-time World Championship winning truck. This is incredible. Throwing in some donuts to end it out. Jim Koehler and the Avenger, fans. Let's hear it one more time and get those scores in. That was a crazy freestyle run. Man, Jim Koehler is no stranger to putting on a show, especially here on the BeamNG circuit, but that was really something else. And I mean, you know, it's never a surprise to see Jim Koehler go crazy, but I mean, when the bar is set so high like it is here on the BeamNG circuit, you're going to see things like you'd never see anywhere else. And Jim Koehler just really proved that with that freestyle run. Alright, now we're going to have to take a look at the scores. Score to beat, 8.525 for John Gordon and Bad Company. Fans gave Jim Koehler an 8.6, experts an 8.75. It is an 8.675 for Jim Koehler and Avenger. We have a new leader here in freestyle. And that's great for Jim Koehler. He's been struggling with points so far tonight. So that's going to be a big opportunity for him to try and climb the ranks once again. Let's keep things going with this independent domination with Venard and the Black Pearl. Man, Venard, his truck doesn't always agree with him, but when it does, he puts down easily the best freestyle runs you will ever see. Off to a great start there. Sorry, I kind of got lost in my words. Great air kick in the run off for the Black Pearl. doubling down with some more good air. So I'm definitely liking this start to the run. Hold on, fans. This run has been paused. It looks like that clock didn't get started on time. They're just giving that clock a second to catch back up. Alright, the freestyle is going to resume for Cole Venard. Just had to catch back up that time, since that timer was not started correctly. Now, that does kill Cole Venard's momentum, so now he's really going to have to try and pick this back up, because otherwise it's not going to be great for his score. Oh, man. And that's always frustrating as a driver. You want to have the flow going, and when your run gets paused like that, it is 10 times out of 10 going to be a very, very frustrating situation. But I think that's also going to help out Cole Venard. Now he's going to be more motivated. He's going to be pushing that truck harder. Oh, no! A crazy move, but that's going to do it for Cole Venard. You see, that is a broken 4-link bar. We allow a lot of breakages to run here on the BeamNG circuit, but the 4-link bar is not one of them. When that 4-link bar breaks, unfortunately, that is 10 times out of 10 going to end your run. So Cole Venard in the Black Pearl, he's going to leave a full minute unfilled here in freestyle. That is really going to hurt his score, I'm sure, but regardless, it was still fun while it lasted. So get those scores in for the Black Pearl. That is the last time you will be seeing him here in Los Angeles or Inglewood, California. Score to beat belongs to Jim Koehler with an 8.675. Awaiting those fan scores for the Black Pearl. Fans gave him a 7.8. Experts are going to give that run a 7. That is a 7.4 for Cole Venard. It's not going to be enough for that top spot. Alright, fans, let's keep the action going. Coming up next, the other driver for Team Scream tonight, it's Chris Koehler and the Mayhem. Now, Chris Koehler has to live up to the performance of not only his teammate, but his dad, who effectively had one of the craziest freestyles that this venue has ever seen. So Chris Koehler, man, he's got some pressure on him right now, but a nice start to the run, good air right off the bat. He is not wasting a second. I will say Chris Koehler's freestyle game since... Whoa! Never mind, I was going to say his freestyle game since switching to this Mayhem truck has been struggling a little bit. Well, he just pulled off one of the coolest combinations of the night, so I love to see that. Now Chris Koehler is definitely going to start picking things up, because he just did something we haven't really seen yet. He grabbed that moonwalk out of basically nowhere. Huge air for the Mayhem. Nice save right there as well. So Chris Koehler, man, great way to kick off the run. More huge air. He's got about 70 seconds left to go still, so plenty of time on the clock to keep picking things up. So far, nothing to separate him from the crowd, but he's still got about a minute left. I'm just liking that he's keeping up this flow, not letting anything stop him. That's what we're going to have to see as this night goes on. Oh, man! A crazy cross thread right there for the Mayhem. It is now Morgan and Morgan backflip time. This might be rough. He's going to set it down. So nicely done by Chris Koehler. Oh, he's just going to throw this into a reverse move. So Chris Koehler is continuing to give us things that we have not seen yet here in the freestyle competition. That's what I'm loving to see. A great save just like Jim Koehler had. Chris Koehler in the Mayhem. He is going crazy right now. Can he pull out another save? Yes, he can. As the time expires and that truck breaks for good, Chris Koehler and the Mayhem brings that run to an end. What a way to wrap up that first event for Chris Koehler. Man, Team Scream had a rough start to the night in really both those first competitions, but both Koehlers there really went crazy in freestyle as they looked to make some good points. Alright, fans, get those scores locked in for that run from Chris Koehler and the Mayhem. Alright, experts are going to give Chris Koehler an 8.65. Fans are going to give him a 9.002. That score for Mayhem, an 8.826. We have a new leader, Chris Koehler and Mayhem. What a great freestyle from Chris Koehler. We're going to keep things going here. Coming up next, the black and green wrecking machine, Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger. Now, the odds of Tyler leaving this event with the series lead are very, very low, and overall is just about out of sights for him. But I think that will motivate him to try and bring himself up a little bit more in points here. Huge air! Oh my goodness! That is the most distance I think we've seen on a single jump so far tonight. He's going to do it again! This is spectacular for Tyler Menninga as he kicks off this run. I am loving every bit of this action so far. Oh no, this might be a rough landing though. Ouch. Fortunately, the truck's going to hold up. Oh man. Oh, Tyler's going up. He's going over, but he's going back onto all four BKT tires. Maybe the best wow moment of the night so far. And take a look at this. He's now pulling out some technical maneuvers. Tyler is pulling out all the stops right now in freestyle. That's exactly what we're gonna need to see if he wants to take it away from Chris Koehler. This is incredible. It's Morgan and Morgan backflip time. Oh man, he really skied it on that backflip. That ramp is giving drivers some serious trouble today. Oh no, this might be it. It's not! Man, this truck is just refusing to flip over for good. Full send for Tyler. This is spectacular. What else can he do in this freestyle run? He's searching for more things. Can he pull out yet another save? Oh, this is going to be a tough one. He's stuck in reverse. Oh, man. Tyler Menninga is collecting these saves like they are Spin Master Monster Jam trucks. Look at this combination here. Oh, that's going to be done. Tries to save it, but he couldn't quite get the grab that he needed. And that's going to put an end to an incredible freestyle run from the Gravedigger camp. He's going to fill the full 2 minutes of that freestyle run. That was amazing, fans. Get those scores locked in as fast as possible. That was spectacular work by Tyler. I am blown away by the amount of saves in that run. And that's a lot coming from me. I mean, I always will talk about how many saves we get here on the BeamNG circuit. But that was another level from the Gravedigger machine. As we are shortly going to be taking a look at the scores. We're just getting that next driver staged for freestyle. Alright, fans. Let's take a look at those scores. The fan score, this is the first time we're having multiple fan scores submitted, so we're going to add those up here and see what they are. Alright, the fan score tonight is a 9.324. The expert score is going to be a 9.4. So the score for Tyler, a 9.362. Easily going to be enough for that top spot. And it's not even close. That is half a point higher than your previous leader, which is a crazy gap. Alright, fans, well, if there's anyone that can put on a good enough freestyle run to top that, it's this guy right here. Please welcome Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. Man, Mike is a crazy driver in this competition, but he's one of those guys who will end up with the best freestyle runs completely on accident. Just the wow moments come out of nowhere, and that's what ends up doing it for him. But I will say it takes a great driver to be able to put on a run like that. As he is getting ready to go. Oh, wow! Mike Pagliarulo and the Excalibur is getting things started here with some of the best air of the night. He's going to double down as well. This is a great start to the run for Mike Pagliarulo. Oh man, this is going to be a crazy, look at that. Just perfectly comboed from hit to hit right there. This is a great start for the Excalibur. Let's see what he can do now. More huge air. This is great. I'm loving all the air we are seeing right now. He's now going to eye that far ramp. Look at that. Amazing from the Excalibur. He's starting to hit some ramps that we haven't really seen hit yet. That's what I'm liking to see for Mike Pagliarulo. That truck is holding up super well too. He's had some weird landings, but that truck has been taking it like a champ. Oh man, another weird landing that the truck is going to hold up for. Let's see what he can do now. He's just about at the tail end of this run. He's got just over 30 seconds left. Great air and a great little bit of a save there. We're going to have to see a wow moment or something though. So far he has not been able to pull out one of those. This might be one. Oh. It's a wow moment, but not the kind you want. It's going to be a rollover that he cannot save. Mike Pagliarulo, he's going to leave 13 seconds on the clock. I will say, it wasn't how he wanted to end the run, but the rest of that run, I'd say, went perfectly for him. He had everything. Didn't skip a beat to full send it at any moment. And I'd say that is what makes a truly good freestyle run. Get those scores locked in. You already hear that next driver prepping in the tunnel. We have a crazy run headed our way. I know that much. Alright, fan scores have come in for that run right there. It's going to be an 8.498 from the fans. Experts are going to give that run an 8. So the score for Excalibur, an 8.249. Again, that's an 8.249. It's not going to be enough for that top spot. Tough break for Mike. Actually, that's not going to be even close to enough. But sometimes you just can't quite get it done. Coming up next, one of the best freestylers in the sport at this point in time, it's Zack Garner, Wildside. Huge air! That might have been the biggest air of the event, and now he's going to combo it up on those front two BKTs. No one can do it like Zack Garner, so casually like that. Look at this! I don't know what's up with that Wildside truck, but that thing is being sent higher than any other truck of this entire show. And that's going to be great for Zack Garner as he looks to become a freestyle winner right now. And he's going to need those good points here in freestyle because that first half of the event was a little underperforming compared to expectations for Zack Garner. Still some good air though, so I'm liking what we're seeing. He's definitely picking things up here in freestyle. And that's what I love to see. He knows what he has to do when he is doing it. He keeps searching for little combo opportunities like that. That's what I love to see. Some drivers don't even think to get technical moves in freestyle. Zack has thought about it a good 15 times in this run. He's got about 40 seconds left, so he's eyeing that Morgan and Morgan backflip. Nails it. One of the cleanest backflips of the event. Full sending it for the wild side. That's what I love to see. Now he's got to get something crazy in this run. Oh no. Oh, can he get this back? One of the best saves of the night coming here from Zack Garner and the wild side. What else can he do? Time has expired at this point. Oh, he's going to try and get another save out of this run, but that truck is over. Zack Garner and the wild side with a killer performance tonight. That was incredible. He had some of everything in that run. Get those scores in. Man, Zack Garner always knows how to put on a show in every competition, but that was really another level of performance. One of the best saves I've ever seen. He didn't have quite as many saves as Tyler, but I would say the level of the save he just pulled off was definitely a little bit higher than what we saw from Tyler. So, all good things to keep in mind here as you get those scores locked in. Alright. Scoring is closed here. Fan scores coming huge at a 9.5. Expert scores are going to come in at a 9. That's a 9.25 for Zack Garner. Enough for second place here in freestyle. Fans, let's throw it to another independent driver who has been having a spectacular night for it being only his first show ever. Sorry, his first full Stadium Series show ever. This is Tim Hall Jr. and Jurassic Attack. So this is only the second Stadium event of his career. You can see that body has been shed after that crazy save he pulled off in skills. Now he's got the opportunity to go crazy here in freestyle. So Zack Garner and Tyler have set the bar at such an unbelievable level that these drivers are going to have a very hard time beating it. Look at this though. Tim Hall Jr., one of the cleanest combo moves of this entire freestyle competition. That is why Tim Hall Jr. is here on the Destruction Series. He proved that he was ready to compete at that stadium level. And that is just spectacular stuff, man. I'm loving what we're seeing right now from Tim Hall Jr. He is airing it out. Look at this, a bit of a bicycle. We haven't seen him do that for a while. If I had to think of another example of him doing a bicycle, I would have to think Miami, Oklahoma. I know he's attempted one before, but man, he's going crazy here in freestyle. Crazy move right there. Didn't really try to line up for anything. He kind of just sent it, but I mean, that's kind of how the best freestylers are born. This is a lot of great air. About 40 seconds left. He's eyeing a Morgan backflip. We're seeing lots of drivers hitting that red side, and it seems like it's more trustworthy than the gray side. So we'll see if that persists here. Tim Hall Jr., though, he is just going off the rails. He's got about 20 seconds left on the clock. Oh, man, look at that transfer. If he can save this, this could be a huge points. Oh, could have been a huge implication for points, sorry. Well, now I'm seeing why he didn't save that. He exploded those rear shocks at some point in that save attempt. And that's going to leave him on the lid with about 7 seconds left unfilled. Well, you can't win them all, and Tim Hall Jr. learning that tonight as he rolls it over early. Still, though, I loved how much action he fit into such a short period of time with that freestyle run. Definitely showed that he was driving like he wanted a freestyle win tonight. Alright, fans, make sure to get those scores locked in. Experts are going to give Tim Hall Jr. an 8.25. Fans are going to give him an 8.6. That's an 8.425 for Jurassic Attack. Not enough for that top spot. Alright, fans, let's keep things going here with with who has become one of the craziest stadium freestylers in the sport. It's Bari Musawwir Zombie. Man, Bari has just such a ragged edge, don't hold back driving style that I love to see. Oh, what's this? He's headed straight for the Jurassic Attack. Oh, man. Looks like Bari's looking for some brains out of that dinosaur. That's what you love to see. He's saying, he's showing the rest of this competition that he's not here to play. And he's off and running. Time begins for the zombie. Man, Bari Musawwir. What a way to announce your presence. Oh man, great air for the zombie. Some of the best air we have seen all night long, right off the bat. You can tell these drivers are getting more comfortable as we go through this competition because they've had more time to see how this track plays out. No way! Zombie just rolled over straight into the Jurassic Attack. That's incredible. Have you ever seen something like that? That's hilarious. The rolling over zombie rolls over into the rolled over truck. That's amazing. It's not going to be a winning run or anything like that, but it certainly was a wow moment to remember. Bari Musawwir giving you fans something you will never see somewhere else. Alright, score to beat, 9.362. Fans give Bari a 7.8, experts give him a 6.5. That's going to be a 7.15 for the zombie. Fans, believe it or not, 7.15 doesn't sound like a super low score. That's actually the lowest score of the night. That's going to hurt Bari a lot, but it's also just an interesting commentary on how stacked this freestyle competition has been. And I'm sure it's only going to be more stacked from here, because coming up next, his first ever stadium freestyle in his own identity, it's Weston Anderson, Bog Hog. This is where you gotta watch out. This is a driver with something to prove. Proving why he's deserved to be on stadiums for the past 4 years, and proving that this Bog Hog name is gonna be one to remember. Weston Anderson, his building of a legacy starts here with this freestyle run. I'm loving the air so far. I'm hearing that Anderson throttle rhythm coming through, and a full send like that for the Bog Hog is what we're going to need to see some more of if he wants to go home with a freestyle win tonight. Man, Weston's first time here on the Destruction Series. You know he's got to be pumped up to be performing so well. Look at this. Oh man, this might be a hard crash. Nope, it's just going to be one of the best saves of the night. Or I guess more of a recovery. I'm not sure I'd call it a save, but it was pretty sick nonetheless. And now Weston Anderson just has the opportunity to go at it. Oh man, look at that. Is it Morgan and Morgan backflip time? That was a clean transition from the Bog Hog machine. And now he's got about 30 seconds left to just go at it. Oh man. Oh, he's not going to get that one back. That was too hard of a landing. Man, that's kind of a shame too, because that very well could have taken the lead after that crazy save in there, but he just went a little too hard on that last send, and that truck landed straight on the cage, and I'm sure that took the wind out of him right there. Regardless of the early ending, that was a crazy freestyle run. Some of the best air we have seen all night long. And ending it all out with a great crash is definitely a cool way to bring that to an end. Get those scores locked in. Following Weston Anderson, we're only going to be seeing 3 more freestyles. So the competition right now is going to be elevated. Let's see, fans gave Weston an 8. Experts gave him an 8.5. That's going to be an 8.25 for the Bog Hog. Again, an 8.25. Not going to be enough for that top spot or anything too close to it. Well, fans, there are only 3 freestyle runs left. These drivers, one of them has 26 points, the other 2 have 27 points. And these are the drivers who are really in the runnings right now to become that series leader if they can achieve the overall event championship. Coming up first of the pack is your racing winner, Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher. Camden has been doing a great job in this show. And I mean, like I said, him and Bryce are both running a brand new chassis this year. Oh, I was about to say Camden's been doing a much better job than Bryce so far, but that all just went down the drain. Camden rolled that over immediately. He's not going to get a score tonight. That's a 0. And I mean, I didn't want to jinx him, but I really was feeling good about Camden because he was in the lead for a period of time. And I was just pumped to see him doing so well despite that new truck that Bryce had been struggling with, but can't win them all, and this is one of those times. Fans, only 2 drivers left to go. Coming up next, the last independent driver you'll see tonight. Please welcome John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity. Coming into this run, John Zimmer Jr. is your series season points leader, tied with Ryan Anderson. He very well could leave this event on top, but it's going to take a killer freestyle run right now. Huge air from the Terminal Velocity. That's what I'm talking about. Kicking off this run right. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from John Zimmer Jr. because, I mean, he's looking to become a series season points leader at the stadium level. That's something he's never been able to say before. Getting a little out of hand right there, but he's going to recover nicely, keep that flow alive. That's really the main thing he's going to have to try and do in this run. On the bicycle, trying to combo it. Be careful. He almost just rolled that over out of basically nowhere. Nice recovery. I'm glad to see that he could recover that, because that would have been a very rough way to end out that freestyle run. More huge air. He is definitely not holding back right now. And I'm liking to see that, because, I mean, he very well could become a series season leader. He's got about 50 seconds left to try and make this run count. It's Morgan backflip time. He's going to nail it. He's moonwalking it. The first driver of the year to do that. Oh, look at this cross thread right now. Oh. Let's hear it for John Zimmer Jr. Terminal velocity. He was going crazy right there. So it looks like he broke a sway bar. I think that's about it. He could have kept going if he didn't run out of room, but I mean, the stadium's only so big, and unfortunately just ran out of playing space. That's going to really, I think, throw a wrench in his plans of being season leader, because there's still another driver left who is tied for the lead going into that run. And he's got a lot to prove. Fans are going to give John Zimmer Jr. an 8. Experts are going to give him an 8.4. That's going to be an 8.2 for terminal velocity. All right, fans. Oh, okay, never mind. Fans also gave him an 8.4, so that's going to be an 8.4 flat. Because experts and fans both gave an 8.4. All right. There's one freestyle run left to go. This last remaining driver, he's currently your season points leader, on track to become the overall event champion. But you know what else? He's celebrating the 15th anniversary of his own identity running here in Monster Jam. Fans, coming up last, please welcome Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. Ryan Anderson has more to prove than anyone else in this entire lineup. Now he has the opportunity to leave this event as the big guy on top. I have no doubt in my mind that he's looking to do that with such a big year ahead of him, as this being his anniversary season. He's off and running. Oh, wow! Big ascent of the night, getting this freestyle run started. Ryan Anderson doubling down with the biggest air so far. This is great. Let's see what else he can do here. I'd say the flow is there, the air is there. Now he's just got to make sure to have some consistency throughout this raw. Fans, let's hear it for Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. Well, there always comes that time when there's a tough break, and this is that time for Ryan Anderson. Came out here with a lot on the line, leaving with a whole lot of nothing to show in freestyle. A tiny cross thread is all it took. And that front left forelink is down. And that run is done. He did fill 53 seconds. That is enough to qualify for a score. But I don't think it's going to be enough to keep him in the lead for the season. Experts are going to give Ryan Anderson a 7.5. Sorry, 7.25 is what I meant to say. Experts give him an 8.2. Ryan's going to get a 7.725. Alright, fans, we're going to take a short break here, count up all these scores, see how the points are looking, and then, as you know, if you're new here, you don't know this. But if you're a fan on the channel, you'll know this pretty well. It's not a Destruction Series event without a fun encore. So we're going to take a quick break here, prepare for the encore of a lifetime, and we're going to take a look at these scores. Alright, fans, interesting things here in the points. Some crazy things that I would not have expected to see. So I'm gonna go just down the line of how the placements are looking, and then I'm going to give some commentary. Currently your season points leader, who was able to gain a total of 37 points tonight, is John Zimmer Jr., Terminal Velocity, your overall event champion. But here's where things get interesting. In first is John Zimmer Jr. In second, despite that freestyle, is still Ryan Anderson with 33 points. In third is Weston Anderson, 32 points. Fourth place, there is a tie between Zack, Garner, and Tyler Menninga with 31 points. That moves us into fifth place, which is Chris, Koehler, and Mayhem with 29. Sixth place is going to be Tim Hall Jr. with 28 points. Seventh place, Jim Koehler and Avenger with 27 points. I'm losing track of what place everyone is, so I'm just going to start reading the numbers. Then we have Camden Murphy, 26 points. Then we'll have Bari Musawwir with 25 points. Mike Pagliarulo with 24 points. Then that's going to be Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. He was able to grab 20 points. Then that's going to be a tie between Colt Venard and Colt Stevens, who both grabbed 18 points. From there, it's John Gordon with 15. And in last place, Bryce Kenny with 13. So the thing I really wanted to point out here is despite John Gordon only getting 3 points in the first half of the show, he was able to do so good in freestyle that he moved out of last place and that Bryce Kenny fell to last place. So that just goes to show how significant having this big of a lineup is. You can get 0 points for the first 2 competitions and still end the event with 16 points and still end up not in last place. And that's what's so crazy. But that's what makes the Destruction Series so fun to watch. It's going to reward consistency above everything else. These drivers have to be on their A game for the whole show, or it is not going to go well for them. And that's what we saw happen there for Bryce Kenny, who was able to grab last place. Aside from that, very interesting to see that Ryan Anderson is still in second place, despite placing very low down in freestyle. Weston Anderson climbs his way up into third place. Love to see it, as Tyler is going to fall. Or sorry, Tyler won freestyle, and that brought him up a lot in points. That brought him all the way up to fourth place, which is pretty big news for him. Zack Garner also climbs his way up into fourth place, by having a pretty similar performance to Tyler throughout the night. Alright, fans, that's a lot of talking, not a lot of encoring. I promised you guys an encore. I think everyone here wants to see an encore, so I'm going to give you an encore. I think that's the only right way to truly end out a Destruction Series show here on the channel. It's not a Destruction Series show without a killer encore. So thank you for those of you fans who have stayed patient. This encore is going to be for you, and you only. All those fans who were here earlier that didn't stick around to the end, well, they're not going to get this killer showing. Ready for the reveal? From the driver celebrating his 15th anniversary. And you fans want to know something else? This is going to be a special year for Ryan Anderson, because as he's celebrating his 15th anniversary, he's going to get to do, throughout the season, all of the different encores on the series. That's something completely different. Previously, there was a different encore driver at every show on the Destruction Series. This year, Ryan Anderson will do each and every one as he celebrates 15 years of his very own machine. Coming up here, this is a concept design meant to combine the original Son-Uva Digger design with the current day design. This is something very special for Ryan Anderson as he gets to represent and celebrate 15 years of his very own Monster Jam truck. Oh, what's this, fans? Is that 2 at the same time? But why is he lining up on a ramp with his truck on the other side of it? He couldn't be. Fans, he's revving the engine. That could only mean one thing. He's going for it, and he clears it fully. Ryan Anderson. That was incredible. Clearing his own truck with another truck of the same name. He's going to do it again. Oh man, that one wasn't as pretty, but it sure was amazing. Nice save. Oh man, his truck's running away. Well, now he's not going to be able to jump it anymore. Oh, hold on, actually. I wouldn't be so sure, fans. I don't know if that was intentional, but Ryan Anderson has just given himself quite possibly another obstacle here. He's going to go for it. If he doesn't clear this, this could be some major chassis damage to his very own truck, but I think he's going to go for it, fans. He is. Oh, man. Ryan Anderson, this is incredible. There is nowhere else other than the Destruction Series where you will get an encore performance like this. This is amazing stuff from Ryan Anderson, showing you fans why this truck has had an amazing 15-year legacy, and hopefully he can continue that on for 15, sorry, I might have said 13 right there, 15-year legacy, and hopefully he can carry that on for 15 years more. This is unbelievable. He is just keeping this going. The main attractions already happened. At this point, he's just out here for fun and to give you fans a show. And that is absolutely what you are getting right now. This is crazy. Well, Ryan Anderson wouldn't leave the fans without the craziest performance of the night. I think he might have just cleared his truck again. I can't really tell if that was lined up or not. He's just going to slam that truck into that barrier to end out that encore. And with that, fans, the first Destruction Series show of 2026. It's crazy to say that. First Destruction Series show of 2026 is officially a wrap. Ryan Anderson begins his campaign for 15 years of Son of a Digger, as he also looks to become a BeamNG Destruction Series champion for the very first time. Fans, thank you all for coming out here. I want to give a special shout out to Chipmunk Fan 1831. I guess Chipmunk Fan 1831 for sticking through the entire stream. I mean, this guy scored every run of every competition. Can we get a shout out for that? I think that's the first time in Destruction Series history that someone has stuck around for the entire scored portion of the stream. So huge shout out to Chipmunk Fan 1831 for sticking around. That's what makes these shows possible, as it would not be the same without that fan scoring. John Zimmer Jr. leaves this event with a series lead with 37 points, while Ryan Anderson holds second and Weston Anderson holds third. So this year is already gearing up to be a crazy points battle. There are drivers all over the board, and many in places you wouldn't expect to see them. But Ryan Anderson looks to find his way back to the top as he campaigns this 15th anniversary. Thank you all for coming out tonight. This was a super fun show. I'm really glad my PC didn't crash in the middle of this one. Sometimes my PC crashes like in the middle of skills, and I have to like randomly cut the event up into two parts, and I hate that because it makes no sense to someone who wasn't there for the first stream. Fortunately, although the stream crashed before this one, we were able to make it through a full stream today. Super awesome stuff. Thank you all for coming out. This was a super fun show, and it's all uphill from here. We got a long season ahead of us. 5 tours running this year. The Arena All Out Series, the Speedway Series, the Send It Series, the Destruction Series, and then, of course, that International Series. All sorts of crazy things coming your way. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time with some more Monster Truck action.